You think being valuable makes people fear losing you. It doesn't. You've been lied to. The people you give the most to are the ones who take you for granted the fastest. And the reason isn't complicated. It's psychological. It's predictable. And once you understand it, you'll never be used again. Stop trying to prove your worth. That's exactly why they don't respect you. See, the moment you become predictable, you become replaceable. Doesn't matter how much you do. Doesn't matter how loyal you are. The second someone knows you'll always be there, your value disappears. Not because you're not worthy, because you made yourself too available, too certain, too safe. And safety in the game of power and perception is death. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He said it clearly in The Prince. Men are less careful of offending one who makes himself loved than one who makes himself feared. Love is comfortable. Fear is respect. And respect is what makes people hold on. So here's what you're about to learn. 4 psychological principles that shift the balance of power. Not through force, not through games, but through controlled presence, strategic absence, an ancient understanding that people don't value what they can always have. Let's start where most people destroy themselves without even knowing it. Principle 1. Predictability is your greatest weakness. Think about the people you chase, the ones you obsess over. What do they all have in common? Right. Uncertainty. You don't know where you stand. You don't know if they'll stay. You don't know if you matter. And that uncertainty lives in your head rent-free. Now flip it. Think about the people who chase you, the ones you ignore, the ones who always text first, always available, always understanding. You don't think about them. You don't fear losing them, because you know they'll be there. That's the trap. The more consistent you are, the less they think about you. Machiavelli called this the illusion of permanence. When people believe you're permanent, they stop protecting the relationship. They stop trying. They stop valuing your presence. Because in their mind, you're already theirs. You became a given. And people don't fear losing what they think they own. So here's the rule. Never let anyone fully predict you. Not your mood. Not your availability, not your loyalty. I'm not saying be chaotic. I'm saying be variable. Show up powerfully, then pull back. Be warm, then go cold. Give attention, then withdraw it. The pattern must break, because the moment they think they've figured you out, you lose. Uncertainty creates obsession. Predictability creates indifference. Choose which one you want to live in. And this is where most people destroy themselves. They think withdrawal is cruelty. It's not. It's strategy. Let me show you why. Principle 2. Absence creates more power than presence ever will. You've been taught that showing up is everything. That consistency equals love. That being there for people proves your value. And you're right, to a point. But here's what they didn't tell you. Presence without absence is suffocation. It's expectation. It's obligation. And obligation kills desire. People don't desire what's always available. They desire what they might lose. Machiavelli understood scarcity better than anyone. He knew that the prince who appeared too often lost his mystery, lost his authority, lost his command over the room. Because familiarity doesn't breed respect. It breeds contempt, or worse, comfort. And comfortable people don't fight to keep you. They assume you'll stay. Think about your own life. The person you think about most isn't the one who texts you every day. It's the one who disappeared for a week. The one who didn't explain. The one who made you wonder. That's not cruelty. That's psychology. The human brain is wired to obsess over gaps, over unfinished business, over uncertainty. When someone pulls back, your mind fills the silence with fear. Did I do something wrong? Are they done with me? Do they still care? And that fear, that internal panic, that's what makes you chase. That's what makes you value them. That's what makes you afraid to lose them. So here's the rule. Your absence must be felt, not explained, not justified, just felt. Disappear strategically, not forever, just long enough for them to notice the hole you left, long enough for them to wonder, long enough for them to realize that life without you isn't as easy as they thought. Most people fail right here. They think disappearing means being cold. It doesn't. It means being selective. It means your time, your energy, your presence, all of it has weight. And weight isn't given freely. It's earned every single time. Now, let's go deeper. Because absence alone isn't enough. There's a psychological layer most people never see. Principle 3. People only fear losing what they don't fully control. This is the part that separates the powerful from the used. You can be valuable, you can be rare, you can even be absent. But if people feel like they control you, none of it matters. Control kills fear. The moment someone believes they can manipulate your emotions, predict your reactions, or guilt you into staying, you lose. Because now, they're not afraid of losing you. They're managing you. Machiavelli warned against this repeatedly. He said, "The one who adapts too much to others will always be exploited." Why? Because adaptability, when overdone, signals weakness. It signals that you'll bend, that you'll break, that you'll come back no matter how you're treated. And people don't respect that. They use it. Let me give you a real example. Think about relationships where one person does everything, apologizes first, forgives endlessly, sacrifices constantly, tries harder. That person thinks they're being strong. They're not. They're being controlled. The other person knows exactly what to do to keep them around. A little attention here, a soft word there, maybe some fake vulnerability, and boom, reset. The cycle continues. That's not love. That's control. And the person being controlled will never be feared. They'll be managed. Like a resource. Like a tool. Like something useful. But not irreplaceable. Here's the truth. People fear losing what they can't control. What operates independently. What doesn't need them as much as they need it. So the rule is this. Never let anyone feel like they own your emotions. Never let them believe that guilt, tears, or silence will pull you back. The second you show that you'll tolerate disrespect just to keep the connection, you lose. Not because you're weak, but because you taught them that boundaries don't exist, that consequences aren't real, that you'll stay no matter what. And once they learn that lesson, the fear is gone, respect is gone, you become optional, and here's where it gets dangerous. Because there's one final layer, the darkest one, the one nobody talks about. Principle 4. Fear of loss only works when the loss feels real. You can pull back, you can be unpredictable, you can refuse to be controlled. But if people don't believe you'll actually leave, none of it matters. This is the ultimate test, and most people fail it. Why? Because they bluff. They threaten, they create drama, they say I'm done, then come back 3 days later, and every time they do that, they train the other person not to take them seriously. Machiavelli said it perfectly. Never make a threat you're not prepared to execute, because empty threats don't create fear, they create doubt, and doubt in your resolve is the beginning of the end. Think about it. The people who truly make you nervous, the ones you fight to keep, they don't threaten. They just move differently. They go quiet. They detach. And you feel it. You feel the shift. You feel the distance. And that feeling, that cold realization that they might actually be done, that's what makes you panic. That's what makes you chase. That's what makes you change. Not their words, their actions, their willingness to walk away and mean it. So here's the final rule, and listen carefully. This decides your future. You must be willing to lose anyone who doesn't value you, not as a strategy, as a standard. Because if you're not willing to walk away, you have no power. You're negotiating from fear. You're staying out of desperation. And desperation is the loudest signal of low value that exists. The most powerful move you can make is to be genuinely okay with walking away. Not pretending, not posturing, actually okay. Because when you reach that state, when you've built yourself to the point where you'd rather be alone than disrespected, people feel it. They sense it. And that's when the fear becomes real. That's when they realize you're not bluffing. That's when they realize they actually could lose you. And that realization changes everything. Now, you understand the game. It's not about being cold. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about understanding human nature. People value what's rare. They obsess over what's uncertain. They respect what they can't control. And they fear losing what might actually leave. You don't need to announce this. You don't need to explain it. You just need to live it. Be unpredictable. Be selectively absent. Refuse to be controlled. And be genuinely willing to walk away from anything that doesn't honor you. That's the difference between being loved and being respected. Between being needed and being feared to lose. Between being an option and being irreplaceable. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to make friends. He wrote it to show how power actually works. Not how we wish it worked. Not how it should work. How it does. And the truth is uncomfortable. The truth is that goodness without boundaries gets you used. Loyalty without reciprocity gets you abandoned. Presence without absence gets you taken for granted. You were never taught this. You were taught to be kind, to be there, to prove yourself. And that worked. Until it didn't. Until you realized that the people you sacrificed for didn't fight to keep you. Until you realized that your value wasn't the problem. Your availability was. So from this point forward, ignorance is no longer an excuse. You know the game now. You know the rules. You know that fear of loss isn't created by what you give. It's created by what you're willing to take away. Your time, your presence, your acceptance, your tolerance for disrespect. All of it has a limit, and that limit is what makes people afraid. Not of losing your kindness, of losing access to you entirely. This isn't cruelty. This is clarity. This isn't manipulation. This is self-respect. And self-respect, real self-respect, is the most powerful psychological weapon you'll ever have. Because it doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't beg. It simply exists. And people either rise to meet it or they lose access to it. That's the choice you give them. Not with your words, with your actions, with your boundaries, with your willingness to be alone rather than be diminished. If this made you uncomfortable, good. It means you're waking up. It means you're seeing the invisible rules that have been controlling your relationships, your respect, your power. Most people will never see this. They'll keep giving, keep trying, keep hoping that if they just do more, people will finally appreciate them, and they'll die waiting. But not you. You see it now. You understand. And understanding is the line between survivors and victims, between the ones who get used and the ones who get remembered. Type, "I choose strategic strength" in the comments. Not for me, for yourself. Because the moment you declare it, you lock it in, you make it real. And from that point on, every move you make will be different. Sharper, clearer, more powerful. This is where your shift begins. Right here, right now. The question is, are you ready to stop being the one who's always afraid of being left? And become the one people are terrified to lose? That's the game. Now play it.